Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. You're knowing what you're wanting? A changing thing, yes? Are you appreciating the contrast of your time and place? Launching desires like never before, a vortex that is expanding with such power and intensity and clarity and focus and decisiveness. Today, while we are here together, you will come to a full understanding of how thoughts are turning to things, how it is that the reality that exists in your experience is coming to you by the thoughts that you are offering. You know, a thought that you offer often becomes a more practiced thought. You call them beliefs. And a belief is a powerful thought. Sometimes you believe in opposition to desire. And when you believe in opposition to desire, your desire cannot come about because your belief is so strong. And so when you get it, that when you ask and source answers, that if you can find a way of softening your awareness of what is, it's like suspending what is long enough that what you desire can gain enough momentum that it can come into your consciousness. But that's a competing thing for you, because most of you, what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch is big competition to something that you can't see or hear or smell or taste and touch, something that you've got to feel. That's why in religion's terms, sometimes, that is referred to as faith. It's faith in the unseen. Wayne Dyer wrote a book called You'll See It When You Believe It, because most people don't believe it until they see it. And most people do believe what they see. And we get why you'd believe what you see, because there it is, all fact-based. But we want you to understand that when you keep believing what you see, you can't get something other than what you've been seeing. How are you going to create a reality that's an improvement over the one that is if you keep just regurgitating the one that is? So you didn't come as regurgitators, you came as creators. You came as definers of new and improved. Oh, and because you are eternal beings, it's got to be that way. You have to be able to keep redefining what it is you prefer, and the universe will continue to deliver to you what you prefer. So here's the big picture. So you came into this physical body, you sift and sort, and you ask. And as you ask for things that are based upon the love-based being that you are, the ongoing eternal being that you are, your source energy joins with that vibration and holds the vibrational focus upon it. And then you find a way through meditation or through appreciation or through deliberate focus. We'll talk about all of those things today. And you come into vibrational alignment with your new and improved vision or decision about what you want. And as you maintain that a little while, law of attraction begins responding to you in your unified state. And as law of attraction responds, then a momentum begins to ensue. And as that momentum ensues, at first, you just feel good. At first, when you suspend contradictory thoughts to your own well-being, when you stop doing that just for a moment, you feel relief right away. And as you allow that relief to linger longer, then what happens is that vibration that you are sensing through your physical senses, it's a visceral feeling within you, becomes faster in motion, more momentum, and then thoughts begin occurring to you. Images come across your mind. In other words, these vibrations are now being allowed by you to turn into greater and greater and greater and greater substance. And so these vibrations become thoughts, and then these thoughts become words, and then these words become impulses, and then the impulses become life experience. In other words, once you get on the vibe of who you really are and what you've really asked for, and this energy that creates worlds is flowing with you, you become invincible. One who is in that state of alignment, who is allowing this energy that creates worlds to flow through you, you are more powerful than millions who are not, you see, who are not in that state of alignment. But it's a little tricky for you, because your what is reality will keep calling you for its attention because it's surrounding you. The money that you've got in your bank account right now, will feel more significant to you than your vibrational currency, which is enormous, because you haven't got a checkbook balance yet. Your bank isn't sending you statements or information about it. And so it's so easy to take score of what's already been manifested into things, and harder for you to pay attention to what's in the process of coming. But if we can get you to start paying attention to what's in the process of coming, you're going to feel satisfaction all the way along the way. It would be like you take a kernel of corn, and you're very wise. You're a farmer. You've been for a while. You have fields of this stuff. You put a kernel in the soil, and you tend to the soil, and you know that if you allow it to do its thing, that it is going to turn into a greater thing that then can be of greater benefit to you. But if you were treating that kernel of corn the way most of you treat the kernels of corn that are in your vortex, you would walk out and stomp on it. Where are you? I need to see you now. I'm just going to dig you up and eat you now. But you know there's a process. There's an evolutionary process. There's a gestation process. And if you know that, and we know you do in some regards, and if you trust that, if we can convince you to begin measuring your evolution of desires by the way you feel, by the satisfaction factor, because when you are wanting something that you doubt, there's no satisfaction there. When you want something that you believe, there is more satisfaction in it, even if you haven't received the impulse to act just now. So I'm going to give you one more really fast analogy, and then we'll be off to the races with you. So you've asked, source energy has focused, and now in this vibrational reality, which we've been calling your vortex of creation, law of attraction is amassing the cooperative components, and there is a reality that is vivid. It is feelable. It is sensible. You can sense it. It is not yet tangible because it hasn't turned into what you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch, but it is a reality that is noticeable. And as you allow yourself to sense it and know it, all doubt is suspended. You close the gap and you stand in knowing of it, which is the perfect vibrational state of being for your realization of it. Now, what happens as you're in that state of vibrational realization? It begins to occur to you. In other words, we've been describing this as what's in your vortex begins to flow into your reality. But you've got to prepare your own vibrational beingness, like the nucleus of the petri dish, that you've set everything just right so that your experiment can grow in the way you want it to. So when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, when you've meditated, or when you're happy, when you are in a satisfied state of being, then that vibration becomes realized by you. And once some momentum gets going, and you don't take score. You see, what happens so often is you want to jump over here into the manifested realm, and you want to look for what's coming. And when you look into the manifested realm and what's coming hasn't already come, your tendency is to notice that it hasn't come. Then you introduce resistance into the equation right away. Then you're not a vibrational match to what's coming, and your realization ceases for a while. You get how this works? It doesn't mean that the gestation hasn't continued, and it doesn't mean that your becoming hasn't become bigger and bigger and bigger, and it doesn't mean that it's not ready for you. It is. It means you're not ready for it. And the reason you're not ready for it is because you're so accustomed to seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching. And so when you look for something that you can't see and you find the absence of it, you generate a vibration that blocks your ability to receive this. You are realizers of your life experiences. When we say you create your own reality, we mean that in the fullest sense. But you know, when you created it you created it with the contrast. That's when you ask. And when you ask, it was immediately given. That was when the creation took place. It's created. It's done. What are you going to do about realizing it? What are you going to do about being the one that holds the vibration that allows what you've created to come into your experience? How are you going to stop doubting it? How are you going to stop blocking it by insisting that it be a full stalk of corn bearing ears of corn, when right now what it is a seed in the ground on its way to becoming everything that you want and need it to be? You got that, didn't you?